everyone, I'm Sandy and this is Creative Discovery in PaintShop Pro. Welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, a very warm welcome, and please click on the subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner, then you'll be able to find your way back to my videos. Now for today's tutorial, this is another intermediate level with no plugins. There are some supplies, there is an image from Pixabay and there is a zip file on the website. Both of the links are in the description box below for those things. So go and get those things and then unzip them and place them into the folders where you keep your PaintShop Pro goodies. If you are new to PaintShop Pro and are trying to follow along with my tutorials and are finding it a little bit complicated, then maybe you need the beginner's course we have over on the website. There is also a link to that in the description box below. This course is also fantastic for people who are updating to version 2022 and need a little help along the way to find things, because 2022 is vastly different to some of the earlier versions, say PaintShop Pro 9. Now some of the versions 2021, 23, they're going to be very similar, so if you have something around 2022, this is going to be very helpful for you. Now until the end of September we do have a special on this course, so take advantage of this while the offer is going. Okay, let's open up PaintShop Pro and hop into this tutorial. Here is a little preview of what we are going to be making in this tutorial. Now after you have unpacked all of your images, open them in PaintShop Pro. First of all, we have these edges. Then we have the image from Pixabay. Duplicate that, close the original, resize to 65%, and then do another copy of this and just minimize the copy for the moment. You also have these slats, which I have already duplicated. You can minimize those also for the moment. Now in your foreground and background box, put these two colors. Your darker color will be 282834 and your lighter color will be C7C8D5. Now first of all, with this image we are going to activate the selection tool and we are going to go to custom selection and put in these settings. The left is 0, the top is 250, the right is 710 and the bottom is 650, and click OK, and then you will have this selection here. We're going to go to image, crop to selection, then right click on this background layer and promote background layer, so we now have a raster layer. Then Control A to select all. Then we are going to contract the selection by 30 pixels. Now your contract selection, if you don't have icons, are in selections, modify and contract. Now while we're in selections, modify, then we're going to select feather and we're going to use an amount of 30. Click OK. So the running ants now go around to the outside. We are going to copy that and paste as a new image. You can close down the old one. Now add a new raster layer. Flood fill that layer with your light color. Then take that layer underneath the first one. Right click on raster 1, open the properties and take the opacity to 35 and then merge those two layers visible. Now bring up the other image that we duplicated earlier and also your slats. Now we want to select a square around her, so you have your selection tool, change this to square, keep the mode on replace, the feathering is 0, anti-alias, selection type is normal. Now somewhere just above her head to the left, now you do want to get her hand in, you're going to draw that out until you have a square, release the mouse and then copy. Now back over here to your slats, you're going to activate the magic wand with replace RGB value, tolerance 0, contiguous must be unticked, and the feathering is also 0. Now click on one of the slat panels and paste her into selection. On this image here, deselect that and just minimize it for a moment. On your slat panels, you're going to apply an inner bevel, and the inner bevel will be, this is bevel number 2, width of 5, smoothness 15, depth of 4, ambience 47, shininess 51, angle is 0, the intensity is 31, the elevation is 36, this color is white, and click OK. Now you're going to copy those and paste it as a new layer, and we're going to grab the move tool and just move it slightly over here and up. Do leave some room around the outside for the borders we're going to add. We're going to add a drop shadow to that. Now your drop shadow is in Effects 3D. The drop shadow is vertical and horizontal, both are 2. The opacity is 40, the blur is 3, and the color is black. And then click OK or press your Enter key. Now go to Effects, Illumination Effects, Sunburst, and this color here I am using is E6, E6, E6. I have the light spot brightness at 30. Now I'm going to shift these in a moment by hand. The density is 87 and the brightness is 68 and the circle brightness is 80. Now up here you have a cross on this image. Hover over it until you get the yellow cross and then move it until it is in the hollow part in this area here. Now the numbers that ends up with is horizontal 36 and vertical 18. So if you can't get that exact, you can use those numbers now. Those numbers will only work if your image is exactly the same size as mine. That's why we did the custom selection at the beginning. Okay, click OK when you're happy with that. Now bring up the image of the girl again and have your freehand selection tool activated with the mode on Replace. Now again, we're going to use a feather of 30 and we're going to draw around her quite close. Now I have got a couple of little selections in here that aren't actually selected. If you want to select those, hold down your Shift key and just go around them and they will also be selected. So now copy and paste her as a new layer. Then you're going to mirror horizontal and then move her down to about there. Her hand is just inside the edge and this will just be touching on the edge over here. Now if you want to move things around a little bit, you can. This sunburst is now on your slats, so if you move your slats, your sunburst is going to be okay. Let's change the blend mode up here to hard light. Now before we go on, merge all those layers visible. Now select all, which is Control A, and contract that selection by 15. Now we're going to go to select selection borders. You will find that up here in your modify section down here. Select selection borders and I'm going to choose outside and the border width is 3 and click OK. Now come over to your materials palette and find the gradient that is your foreground background gradient. You're going to have the angle at 45 and the repeats will be 12. I have chosen the linear one at the top and click OK. Activate your flood fill tool or press F on your keyboard and you may need to zoom in to flood fill that. Now we're going to add an inner bevel to that and we're going to use the same settings we had before but change the width to 3 and then click OK. Deselect that. Now go into your gradient and change the angle to 135 and we're going to repeat what we just did. Select all, contract. This time we're going to contract by 9. We're again going to select selection borders and exactly the same settings of outside and 3 and again zoom in and flood fill that with the gradient now going the other way. Add the same inner bevel and then deselect. I don't need this anymore. Now open the edges, and the one we're going to use is this one in the middle, which is actually layer 3. Now you can just grab and drag this onto your image. I am going to resize that by 75% and make sure your resize all layers is unticked, and then sharpen that. Grab your move tool and place it up the top here. Now duplicate that layer and then mirror horizontal and mirror vertical so it ends up down here in the bottom corner, and merge those two layers together. Now if you have merge layer down, you can use that, or go to your layers and merge down. Now we're going to add a drop shadow to that of vertical and horizontal 1, opacity 50, blur is 0, and this I have used the dark color from our materials palette. So click OK. Now just merge all that together and flatten, and you're finished. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial, and if you did, please give the video a thumbs up. Also, you can leave me a comment below or ask me a question. And don't forget, we have a special on the course until the end of September, so check that out. The link is in the description box below. So look out next week for another tutorial and a tip on Tuesday. I also apologize for not getting Tuesday's tip out this week. I have been a little bit under the weather and was just not up to doing videos. I will though put an extra one out for you this weekend. It won't be a tip, it'll be just something a little bit extra. So until the next time, have fun and bye for now.